And we know that as Muslims, we will never miss whatever provision was written for us. It was decreed to us before we were even born, subhanAllah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to La Chicana Muslimah. My name is Alyssa. I make videos about lifestyle, what it's like being a Mexican American convert to Islam, and about my work as a printmaker artist. I am so excited to share with you guys a new Linocut print that I've been working on. As a printmaker, you can carve rubber, linoleum, or wood. This is a piece that I produced by carving a piece of linoleum. I printed a limited edition of 8 prints. The design is an original, which means that I came up with the concept. I began by drawing the design digitally on Adobe Fresco, which is a free app, and I totally recommend it for any digital artists out there. Because I have a Mexican American background, I love to produce art which ties in Islam with my culture. So as Hispanic Heritage Month was coming up in September through October, I wanted to create something that highlighted both. And it had been a while since I created something. The last print that I did, which intersected my heritage and faith, was the Kaaba print, which I made a couple years ago. This relief Linocut print is really special to me in a different kind of way. I don't feel like it's completely obvious how it ties into Islam, but I'm hoping to explain that throughout the video, showing you the process of how it was made. This relief Linocut print depicts a traditional burro, or a donkey, piñata at its center. Above and below, it's adorned with bubble-like text, "No pierdas el tino," which loosely translates from Spanish to English as "don't lose your aim." Now, I'm sure you guys have seen these piñatas of all different shapes and sizes at parties, usually birthday parties for young kids. And as a Mexican American myself, I grew up definitely partaking in this tradition. It's really fun. As far as how I chose the colors of the prints, I really wanted something that was celebratory, just like what the piñata stands for. I wanted them to reflect the celebratory essence of the Mexican tradition of hitting the piñata. I used oil-based ink and blended a bright pink and orange to create an ombre look for the piñata. And to me, anytime that I add an ombre to a print, because they are kind of like a one-dimensional piece, I just want to give it just a little bit more intrigue, especially because it's a single layer print. And each print varies a little bit individually because I hand print it, and I use a process called relief printmaking, which means I place the paper onto the linoleum block after I inked it up and smoothed out the paper onto the block until the ink is applied to that paper, and then slowly and delicately peel the paper to reveal the print. In my childhood, I definitely hit a lot of piñatas for my birthdays and also my cousins' birthdays and my friends' birthdays, and it was always really fun because once somebody cracked open that piñata, the candy came flying out, and it was just like first come, first serve, and everybody dove in to get as much candy as they possibly could. You would be blindfolded, somebody would turn you around so that you'd get a little dizzy and disoriented, and they would hand you a broomstick, usually like they would unscrew it from the broom, and then they would hand you the stick, and that's what you would use to whack open the piñata. And it was held up with a string, and usually your dad or your uncle or whoever was holding it on either side, and they would stand up like on the roof or a tree, and they would just swing it all kinds of different ways. It was really hard, if you think about it, to try to hit the piñata, and it took several tries for each kid to whack it open. And you got the duration of a song that they usually sang to get as many whacks at the piñata that you could in. Dale, 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 no pierdas el tino, porque si lo pierdes, pierdes el camino. Dale, diste una, ya le diste dos, ya le diste tres, y tu tiempo se acabó. Se acabó. So as I reflected and I pondered about this particular tradition, it got me thinking about how it really is metaphorical for this worldly life. Much like how the tradition works, you're blind in life, not really knowing which direction to swing, and you're just kind of swinging at whatever lands a hit. And it's almost like entertaining for whoever's watching, and definitely for whoever believes is pulling the strings of your circumstances. And I know that might seem rather dark, but when I reflected on it, I was still very nostalgic and very hopeful. And that particular song that is sung by everybody who's at the party who really wants you to land a hit reminded me of the encouragement that I got from my family and the loved ones around me. That encouragement really empowered us as children to go for it, despite the disadvantages and however much you may seem to be on the losing side of things. The song goes, dale, 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 hit, hit, hit. No pierdas el tino, don't lose your aim. Porque si lo pierdes, because if you lose it, pierdes el camino, you'll lose your way. So other versions of this song replace the word tino, or aim, with tiro, or shot. I chose to use the version that uses tino because I felt like it really tied in with the following phrase of the song. Because if you lose it, you lose your way. Especially when you see the word tino can be synonymously translated as tactic, common sense, or sound judgment. The word dale is used to encourage the child to swing for the piñata. Dale can also be used as a way to express encouragement for someone to move forward with action. Once the piñata is hit open, all the candy falls out, and for me, that was definitely symbolic of provision. And we know that as Muslims, we will never miss whatever provision was written for us. It was decreed to us before we were even born, subhanAllah. And we know that God tells us in the Quran, to Him we belong and to Him we return. So when I see the word tino, it reminds me of the tenacity and reason that God gifted each of us with. And ultimately, whoever thinks that they're pulling the strings of our circumstances, they really don't. God is in ultimate control of everything. He is the one who's in control of the heavens and the universe and our circumstances. And this print for me really serves as a reminder that God is the most just, the most generous, the most wise, and the best of helpers. These prints are available for purchase on my website, and you can follow my art process on my Instagram as well, at Salam Stamps. I also carve custom stamps for small and local businesses, but I can also do address stamps or wedding stamps, and my commission form is available on my website. I will link everything below. I hope that if you watch this video and you are Mexican American or you're Latino and you used to partake in this tradition when you were younger, that it meant something to you, especially if you accepted Islam later in life like I did. And this channel, I hope, really serves as a way to show people that you don't have to let go of your culture or your heritage when you embrace Islam. Islam has a way of beautifying our traditions and our culture. And it definitely is a process to try to figure out how to balance the two. But when you do, there's just so much beauty and dawah in it that I can't even explain. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us good intentions and success in this life and in the next. Ameen. If you want to see the creation of my Kaaba print, I'll leave that video here for you. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.